Careful.
Oh, God, no.
All right, welcome to the Easton Housing Authority regular board meeting for September 12th, 2023. Last we met, we said see you in September, and seems like yesterday, but here we are. So,
We're back.
roll call, Commissioner Chrisanne Sheedy,
Here.
Commissioner Tebow,
Here.
Commissioner Burrows,
Here.
Commissioner Widup,
Here.
and Commissioner Dennis Sheedy is present. Agenda item number 1, the minutes of the June 13th regular meeting and the June 29th special meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of June 13th regular meeting and June 29th special meeting.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Chrisanne Sheedy, a second by Commissioner Burrows. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That is unanimous. Agenda item number 2, the June warrant in the amount of, this isn't the one to change, right?
This is
Yeah,
it.
the June.
The June warrant in the amount of $458,659.28.
I'll make a motion that we accept the June warrant in the amount of $458,659.28.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Widup, a second by Commissioner Chrisanne Sheedy. Any discussion?
I just have 2 questions. One, the different reports, right?
Yes.
A little different reading. And then entered under the wrong account, so those just get,
They got cleared out. What
Yeah,
happened
cleared
was this was the first time using it, we put them in under the 400 instead of the revolving, so we struck them all out of that account and
okay, so that's like a void.
Yes,
Okay.
correct. Yep.
And the difference between the one that you gave us and it seems like a small amount, what was that?
When I looked at the back of the report, it now has cleared and uncleared checks.
Okay.
So the uncleared checks weren't in that total, and I looked at the wrong total on the sheet when I entered
So
it.
you're getting used to the new reports also?
I'm trying.
Okay.
Pam caught that, actually.
You're getting,
It's just a slip of the eye.
thank you, I'm all set.
I still don't think we have the right report. On the revolving, the June?
Oh, yes, we had to switch the guts.
Yeah,
It
the
was
guts
too-
got flipped the wrong way.
Yes, I had to do that.
Oh, they got stapled together
Yeah,
wrong?
stapled with this, I think the
The
July got
totals.
stapled with the June and the June got stapled with the Julys. I meant
And
to
yeah,
tell
so
you
the
about
totals
that.
aren't the same. Unless just mine got,
If you look at the fine print on the top of the listings, it tells you the date, June 1st through June 30th.
Yeah, the June listing was the 33, 528, 29 for the June 1st.
all right, so I get, well, yeah, mine just got stapled together.
I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
I should have called it to the attention, I'm sorry, I forgot to.
No, I thought it was
Yeah,
mine, because
okay.
I thought you had yours.
The cover sheet is just
Right.
attached the wrong one, okay.
Yep.
That's one.
There was too much paperwork after that this many months.
Well, this is like-
I'm just seeing if everybody is paying attention.
We can have meetings in July and August next year.
Boy, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Okay, we good with the June warrant?
Yeah, I made a motion, I forget who seconded it.
Chris did.
I did.
Chris and Tom had questions. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That is unanimous. All right, agenda item number 3. The July warrant. Switch this one. In the amount of $458,659. No.
No.
it's changed.
Yep, sorry about that.
$125,790.
Oh, no, I'm
One-
sorry.
No, we're on July, $163,321.30.
Yeah. I was just pointing to the wrong number. Sorry about that, Dennis.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we accept the July warrant in the amount of $163,321.30.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Wood, a second by Commissioner Burrows. Any discussion?
I just, got one question. Under the credit card, it says 135 H.O. Plaza, Ithaca, New York, Cornell Store. You know what that is?
Yes, it's a training manual for maintenance on, I'm trying to think if it was pest or, I think it was for pest treatment. Derek is doing that, so it's the class and the manual.
And just one other comment. I know, and this is, I hope the board members can disagree with me on this. We're using Amazon to buy some stuff. I know it's not a lot, but anytime we can use local, if the price is reasonable.
Oh, yeah, they use Fernandes on a regular basis.
Okay,
Yeah.
all
Oh, no, that's, some of the things we can't get. A lot of the John Deere parts that we buy on Amazon,
You can't,
we
yeah.
can't get them
I
there.
know Mr. Bezos needs the money.
There is that.
Yeah, but I understand. Sometimes I've
Yeah.
searched local and then had to go home and order something online, so I
Yeah,
absolutely
no, absolutely,
understand.
no, we use Fernandes as often as we possibly can. A lot of things they don't carry for them, guys.
Excellent.
But I imagine in this case, the truck running boards were probably more cost effective through Amazon than going to the dealer.
Right, and then we wouldn't, yeah, I wouldn't go to the dealer for those, and they typically don't stock them at the dealer.
Oh,
And maintenance put them on the truck. Derek's very handy that way. We're very lucky.
Questions, sir?
Any other questions or concerns? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That is unanimous. All right, agenda item number 4. The August warrant in the amount of $197,442.42.
I'll make a motion to approve the August 2023 warrant in the amount of $197,442.42.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Commissioner Christian Sheedy, a second by Commissioner Widup. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is unanimous. Now for agenda items 5, 6, and 7, they are the financial statements for May 2023, June 2023, and July 2023. They are cumulative, so we're going to take them all together because the July one is going to reflect the May and June financials. So I would entertain a motion to that
So moved.
extent.
Move to accept and put on record the May, June, and July financial statements, comparative statements.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Tebow and a second by Commissioner Christian Sheedy. Kathy, anything stick out to you?
Just a couple of things on Section 8. The actual fraud recovery income, we're up on that. We've been very diligent on trying to collect some of that. My other concern, just I want to point it out to the board, is on the legal on the Section 8. We're well over it, and that consists of just one case that's been going on for well over a year now. So,
That's one of those things you really have to look at a cycle over 3 or 4 years. You'll go 2 years, nothing, and 1 year will eat up 3
we've had a
years.
lot of Section 8,
Yeah.
unfortunately, but on the 400 side, the reserves are at 97.1%, so that's good. And then for, our rents are up. Also, the admin is still up because of the software conversion. I think we addressed that at the last meeting. We're probably under equipment. We're already pretty substantially in, and we had to get 2 more water heaters recently, 1 more automatic door, and 3 more refrigerators to have on standby, so you're aware. And I don't know whether some can be allocated to extraordinary. Obviously, we work with Dan on that as we go along.
Price of doing business.
Yeah.
The bottom line, though, you're still in positive by $22,000. And you're $34,000 short on the subsidy from DHCD, which is
DHCD,
simple
yeah.
calculation, so
Kind of wash it.
you'll probably never see that because the rents went up.
Probably. Rather see the rents going up. That means we're filling the units.
Any other comments or concerns regarding the May, June, and July financial statements? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 8, change order for fish number 088077 generator in the amount of $9,236.30.
I will make a motion that we approve change order number one, project number 088077, generator for Parker Terrace.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Christian, a second by Commissioner Burrows. Any discussion?
I just think it's healthy when you do a change order to read it, what it is for the public. So we're having a change order, if you could just outline what it's for.
It was for the generator panel on the community building at Parker Terrace. It was to match the new siding with the current siding and install the ATS and electrical panel on the wall as agreed. And they did a good job. It wasn't a problem at all. It was mostly, and the materials are attached as well with the cost work of those, so.
No, I mean, I support that, I
Yeah.
just think, what changed? What do we get for our money?
In infilling the existing garage door.
Yeah. That they could use.
Is that what this change order is about, the continuing problem with the adjustment to the garage for the
The
panel?
garage door on this building, not over there,
Oh,
this building.
oh,
Yeah,
no, I
there was a
misunderstood.
garage door there, and the garage was inoperable. It's actually the guy's shop. At one point in time, I think it was an actual garage, but that's the only place they had to put the panels. So, for the generator, so that was the
So
only
that's why
logical,
the
so they
renovation-
closed off the door so it can't be used.
Okay, and my question on this change order is that the total amount of this change order is $9,236.30, but the supporting documents for the supplies
Right.
came to $4,671.50. So is it safe for me to assume that that other $45,64.80 was
Labor
labor?
and man hours, yes.
There's a little percentage for general costs and overhead. They get to put a little percentage on the change order.
Needs to be done right, it's an important thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry, Tom.
Any further questions or concerns regarding the change order? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 9. 2023-2024 utility allowance for Section 8 voucher program for approval.
If we can have approval back to July 1st of 2023 in these, we did get them late, but subsequently we should approve them back to July 1st when they're effective. When Old Colony Planning Council did this, Chrisanne actually brought it to my attention, they had mistakenly entered the natural gas on the last page for the high-rise on the one and the 2 bedrooms, and they've subsequently changed that, so just so the board's aware of what those are. And I believe they did the same in Brockton, and Brockton's already brought it to their attention as well, they told me.
Yes. Then we will bring it to our September meeting. But there was
On the gas,
errors on it,
yeah.
So these are basically increases in the HUD allowances for heating, cooking, on Section 8 program.
Correct, for all the utilities based on the style of the unit and the number of bedrooms in the unit.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion that we approve the utility allowance schedule for, back to July 1 of 2023, to acknowledge these changes in the schedule. If I missed something, let me know.
No.
I don't know if we
think you
have
have
to
to
read
read every
them.
single one. It would be good.
Okay.
And this is a study done by Old Colony Planning Council. We pay them to do the studies on the utilities, as do most agencies.
I'll second it.
We have a motion by Commissioner Chris Sheedy, a second by Commissioner Tebow. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 10. The 2023 PMR, it's a non-publishing year. PMR is a performance management review which is conducted by the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities, formerly known as DHCD. There are two findings, right?
No.
Operational
They are not
guidance.
findings.
Well, operational guidance.
If I can make comment on it, very good.
Please.
Yeah, operational guidance on certification and reportings because the tenant's accounts receivable weren't reported on time 1 quarter. It's a useless report for any housing authority. It's just doing some moving around of numbers for DHCD, but they require us to do it. So I guess we have to do it. And then capital spending is going to be removed from this because they are causing the backlog in capital spending.
And when I did have my exit interview with them, they basically said to disregard that because it wasn't on us, it was on them due to when our budget year is, as opposed to when their budget year is.
But it's non-published, but next year will be.
Yes.
And they'll say, oh, sorry, but we'll get you next year. Okay.
It's more of just for the board's information. I don't think it needs approval or anything for non-publishing year.
I just want to say that there are things here that housing authorities are asked to do that take away from the day-to-day operations. So you're short-staffed and they're saying to you, for example, you need to put in vacancies into their system within 15 days, which is, our system is what's important to us, but they want you to do it, and if you miss that, that's an issue. So I do have some, we could do this at the end of the year once for them, and they would get all the information they need.
And what?
We could do this once a year at the end of the year and give them all the information they need, but they want us to do it on a daily basis.
And that's new, isn't it? Because this unpublished, off-year PMR record, remember, these were just like specifically scheduled once a year. I remember, 9 years ago. And now it seems as though it's, they sneak up on you, unexpected. It's like the unappointed knock on the door sort of thing. Isn't that what's going on?
Yeah, and on top of that, you have the AUP, the PMI, your federal audit, and all this, it's all the same information. They just keep hammering you over and over with it. That you just have to keep reporting.
Unpublished years, because they did such a great job last year. So they just,
And both of these operational guidances are just nitpicking, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And published versus non-published year is a joke. But anyhow, don't get me going.
We'll try not to.
It's like, who's
You
gonna
can't
look at
mention
it?
the office anymore, so now we're gonna.
Yeah, be careful. Any other thoughts or concerns regarding the performance management review? Hearing none, we'll move on to agenda item number 11, the 2023 Section 8 Management Assessment Program Score, otherwise known as CMAP.
Also an unpublished year, technically. I did respond to them. I'm a little disheartened with HUD as well, I must say. Of the payment standards, one of the criteria in which they granted us 0, because of the structure of our standards and the way we do business, we have to get the standards from every town we administer and what the payment standard is for that individual town. Of that, there were 48 individual payment standards from bedroom size 0 through 4 that we had to input. 48. There was one from one agency that would not give us the payment standard, did not have it on their website, we could not obtain it. They were not responding, so we submitted the 2022 payment standard. That was the only one that was incorrect, and they gave me 0 points on it. And then I managed to retrieve the 2023 payment standard from somebody else. It wasn't that agency, and they said that wasn't good enough. It was too late. I didn't submit it on time, so. We're a standard performer. I have faith now that Taunton's managing the program, we will be much better next year.
I'm less concerned with the payment standards, which, I mean, we had problems at one time because another housing authority board adopted the wrong payment standards. And so we got a -5 there, but what about the HQS inspections? What happened there?
Those were done. They were not input into the system on time and subsequently not submitted in TIC, and that's the data they use to review
Right.
CMAP. So they were done. We use McCrite, and McCrite's very good with
Yep.
that.
So, I mean, you've been struggling with the administration of this program for a couple of years with staff coming and going, so I think it's amazing were able to,
I was hoping to do better.
well, I understand, but it's tough
Yeah.
in this market, and with this program of only 100 vouchers to keep someone going.
Oh, they
That's
keep
why
you
we're-
busy.
Well, no, that's why we've gone with Taunton.
They keep me busier than just about anything in there.
Once again, nitpicking, if you ask me.
I could nitpick their cover letter.
Go for it.
Well, and
Well, when they,
their initial findings, they gave me the wrong,
item,
yes.
they said item
And I
8
asked
and
them.
item 11.
Yeah, and those weren't the correct,
You look at the
yes.
report and you see
Yes.
that they, another one of those eye drop things.
Did we publish their incorrect items?
I did bring it to their attention.
Oh,
I
good.
knew which one it was, but I did email and then request them to correctly tell me which one they were referring to because it was unclear.
Yeah. And that's the letter that's up there.
Yes.
Any other comments or concerns regarding the Section 8, the CMAP score? Hearing none, we'll move on to agenda item number 12, board member resignation. We will have a position available in December, would be the first month where there'll be a position available. And I guess the discussion is the town wants to know if we want to put it off till the April election or move forward to try and bring someone on board as soon as possible. My thoughts on it is that we should move to bring somebody on as soon as possible, for two reasons. That person's gonna have to run for election in April regardless. And if they start in December, it will give them a few months to sit on the board and see if it's actually something that they want to do and they want to pursue. So that would be my thought, to move forward as soon as possible. If there's a candidate, I don't think we should just sit and wait.
When talking to Danielle Sakad, she said that our board can request that the select board make an appointment or have a joint meeting to discuss. Typically, she says, in a situation like this, the select board will make an appointment.
Okay. Now, my second question would be, has a tenant requirement been fulfilled?
That's a gray area because we do have a tenant also on the board, and when I did talk to our management person over at the department, or EEO, I'll never get it, DHCD, they did said because we do have a tenant on the board, that would fulfill that, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a tenant. When the waiver comes up in April, we will fill the waiver for the tenant with the current tenant representative. Everybody's unclear on it, truthfully. But when I talked to them, they said that.
Did you run for election?
Yes,
So you would have to, the
it
board
was a
would,
town election, yeah.
yeah, the board, the town would have to appoint you and he would go to a 5-year term. So you'd be out of elections, no longer have to do elections?
That's after this term runs out.
No? I did go through this.
My seat,
Okay.
my seat
I
for
don't
5
know,
years.
we've never gone through that.
Yeah, so you can stay with your seat, or you can go into the tenant seat. One seat has to, so you can
I
have.
am in the tenant seat.
No, you're not, you were elected.
Well, actually, they both were. When I filed waivers way back, they both were, but then they subsequently had made it as Pam was, so they're kind of unclear at the department as well.
Yeah, okay. I
The
mean,
department.
go on.
The state department or the town?
The Department of Housing. They're the ones that have the guidelines on this, and even some of the town clerks are a little unclear on it.
Yes. But one of the things that was clear to me is, so I'm the governor's appointee. You're elected, you're elected, you're elected. We elected, so we don't, the one position then has to be designated. When they made the governor's appointee, one person was designated there.
I filled John Chap's seat, and he
Yeah.
was a resident.
No, forget about whether he was a resident or not, it's whether you're elected. The resident is a seat that will be appointed by the town once every 5 years. It has to be a resident, it has to go through a special process, not an election.
This will be our first year of having to do it. We've never done that.
They're actually elected by the residents. It's not a town.
Right, the residents submit, if you have a tenant council, which I don't think you do.
We don't.
So then you have to solicit names from the body, present them to the town, and they will make an appointment. And that seat will from there ever on be the resident seat. So you could have 5 residents on the board, 4 elected and 1 appointed by, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, the governor could appoint a resident. You could have 5 residents on a board. But one position is the resident seat, and that one goes through a different process than a town election. I know that for sure. I wrestled with this in Abington for 2 years. But we can talk about that later. But I agree with Dennis that, getting interest in people sitting on boards is not always easy. Like to see what it is now. Hate to go through an election and find nobody step forward.
So we would have to request that the select board appoint somebody for the interim.
Yeah, I think they'd have to post first, right?
Yeah, they have, I think it's volunteers, the board positions available, volunteers, but there are on the website. They do
Okay,
list.
I will reach out to Danielle tomorrow and let her know if that's the way the board chooses to go. We will vote
If he says
And
yes,
we'll
he can
move
be
forward
on for
that way.
5 years, no matter what the elections are.
and see what the next steps are that she recommends.
The Department of Housing and Community Development, not Livable Housing and Communities, that old department screwed this up royally.
Yes.
When they got involved in state election politics, and Bill Galvin, that's the guy who oversees the
Secretary of
election.
State.
Secretary of State said to them, "What are you doing?"
And it
Took forever, so that's why it's so confusing, but I do know, in the end, one is not the resident, the true resident that is designated as that position goes through a different process than getting the 50 signatures, going down,
Getting on the ballot.
getting on the ballot.
So Don would no longer have to do that if he chooses
If
to be
we
the men.
went that way, you'd actually give up one seat, your elected seat, and go into the resident seat, if you chose to do that.
I think I'm totally confused.
Yes, I don't blame you.
Can you do a little circle and come back?
Absolutely.
I ran for election.
Yes.
I filled a resident seat.
No.
Well, John Chap was a resident.
He was-
No, he wasn't then. He was a resident, but that wasn't in effect when John was a resident on the board. They asked at that point in time if we had a resident on the board.
And I
They were
ran for
starting
that, I
all
ran
this.
for that seat in the election, and I was elected to that seat.
Through a town election, and then they changed all those parameters where you're not in a town election anymore. The residents of the Easton Housing Authority
So I'm not a
are the only
resident.
ones vote.
Okay.
So,
I don't have a resident seat on the board.
right, there's,
Well,
the,
technically Pam doesn't either, because she was also
no,
elected.
no, they're both, your residents. That's what's confusing. John was a resident, but he did not go through the process, so there's 5
But
board.
Pam was
Wasn't a
elected before she was a
requirement.
resident.
Right.
So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have a governor's seat, you have a resident seat, and then you have
We're waiting for both.
Yeah.
election, town election.
Talk to Kim.
Right now, you're filling one of those seats,
That's fine.
town election. You are a resident, you live here, but you're filling one of those seats. I'm filling the governor's seat. Dennis and Pam and Chris are also town. So that's essentially open now. If you can do it the other way and request a waiver every year, because you didn't go through the process of,
Every
soliciting.
year, only during an election.
No, right, until you get it. So once you have a resident who is appointed through that process, which is if you don't have a tenant council, you have to notify all the residents there's an opening seat. You have to give them a form that says, hey, bring this to the town clerk if you're interested. The town clerk will then make will bring it to the selectmen, and the selectmen will appoint.
Gotcha. Okay.
Once that's done, you're done for 5 years.
Okay.
And then 5 years from now, you have to do the same thing.
But Pam's position now doesn't expire until 20...
April.
26.
26?
26.
No, so this appointment will stay in that seat until then.
Oh.
That's
No,
what Danielle
only to
had
the
said.
next election. You're only fulfilling it until the next election.
Okay.
Because I did it back in when I first started, I think I did it twice. I filled Dan Crane's seat, then I had to run, and then I filled whoever beat me seat. And then I had
So
to-
we
Clear
can
as
start
mud.
with a motion
Clear as
and a
mud.
vote to go forth and have the position filled, and I will get more guidance from that,
Yes, yeah.
From whom?
from Danielle.
But even when I spoke with her,
She,
she said she needed to contact DHCD.
and they
And
didn't give the
As
same,
usual.
yeah, they didn't give the same information
about
that you're
running in
relaying to
circles.
us, Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they don't get it either.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I'll look, let me just as a flip hats a little bit.
Yeah.
As the executive director, I'll look through the records that I went through, my little nightmare over in Abington. And I'll share it with you.
Okay, yeah.
It did come, we're
I
very clear
understand
now.
where you're coming from.
Everybody's
Yeah.
very clear on who's got what position.
Okay.
We have 2 residents, one is in the resident seat, and one is an elected seat, and
Okay.
has to go up for elections. But I'd just like to, get some clarity amongst our board and amongst the people here so that we can go forward.
But if Dawn wanted to stay elected, we could go through the waiver every time it's required
Absolutely.
to fulfill the tenant position.
Yep.
Okay.
do you understand that, Dawn?
No, but that's fine.
You're fine.
Make it clear.
You're here as long as you want to stay here.
And as far as holding the resident seat, he could, is that
Yeah.
what Chrisanne was just explaining?
Yeah,
is-
we would have
there
to
is an
submit a
option?
waiver
Oh,
to
okay.
DHCD that he's fulfilling that requirement.
One of the things that I have not considered is the terms. So your term ends in 26,
Yes.
yours ends, do you know when?
25.
25? Mine's probably already gone.
Yours has been gone since I got here.
No, I renewed it,
Oh, did you?
I did recently.
No, you just renewed it last year.
Yeah, I did.
What was it?
Yes.
Dennis, when's
It
yours?
was renewed last year.
27. No, you're 27. No, you're 28. You're here forever. 27.
27, 27, 26?
So 20 25, 26, 27, 28. Is
Yeah,
that
I
sound
believe
right?
Oh, yeah, so when yours come up, yours will be the resident seat.
It'll make your life easier.
Yeah, that sounds
And
right.
do a waiver.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's,
not a
those are
problem.
the options.
Yep.
Does that answer you now, Donnie?
Sharon,
Yeah, somewhat, yeah.
I'll talk to you later, Dawn.
He's like, I'm a resident, they're telling me I'm not a resident, did I get evicted?
No impeachments.
did you hear me?
So maybe I just need a motion to go before the select board and ask for an appointment for the interim.
So moved.
So they were all there till the 25th anyway.
And you need a
I need a second.
Second?
We have a motion by Commissioner Christian Sheedy, a second by Commissioner Tebow. Any further discussion?
I think we beat that one up sufficiently.
All righty, all in favor?
Exhausted.
That is unanimous. Agenda item number 13, Executive Director's Report.
We've been leasing. We're showing 2 more units, 62 a lease and 72 hopefully at the end of this week. And we have other units in that list that we can also show. They're still working on screening.
The list always makes me busy.
I try to,
No, I-
be informed, you know? 'cause it's- Yeah,
I'm not saying, I'm just like, what? That is insane.
yeah.
So it's been a busy summer, even though you
Oh, yeah.
had two months meeting off.
Oh, we've been
At
busy
least
this
7
summer.
or 8. So the list was more than cut in half.
Yeah, and we had also pulled the family list, and had started screening on that too, but we did house a victim of a fire from another agency in the interim. We still have that list, and we're still working on that list as well, because we don't know what's going to happen with that tenant currently, so the part-time girl's working out very well. It's taking a lot off of Dawn's plate, which is helpful as well. And before long, they'll be making all the decisions on preference and priority, and you won't have to worry about quantifying them for these.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
happy about that, but
Doubting Thomas here. If it works, it works. Doubting Thomas.
because
If it doesn't work, it
I've already
won't be
heard a couple of
surprising.
nightmares that they quantified somebody as an emergency that didn't have any of the documents in there.
Yeah, well, he doesn't know us anymore.
We're starting the AUP. We just finished the federal audit. I haven't got the results of that yet. We just finished that. And the AUP, we couldn't have Mark and Hewitt this year, so we went with Fenton and Ewald. The AUP, they'll be out next week or the week after, I can't remember. And at the last meeting, I had mentioned the personnel policy and vacation time and whatnot. And in reviewing the personnel policy, it's extremely outdated. It's even unclear for me to interpret some of what's in there, especially now that we have part-time employees and what you can or can't do with part-time employees. And so I did talk to Michelle Randazzo. I sent her a copy of our policy, and she is more than willing, obviously, to revamp it. I just think it's in the best interest of the authority as well as the employees to actually have somebody review it of a legal mind and present it to the board and make sure it's an effective policy. Just in this day and age, there are so many what-ifs. I think it would be money well spent to have her look at it and present it for approval to the board.
So do we need a motion for that?
I don't think
At this
we would
meeting
need a
now?
motion on that.
As long as it's within your budget.
Yeah, it is. We didn't have a motion on the other policies that we had to do for DHCD, the language access, fair housing,
Oh, yes.
all that, so,
I have seen Attorney Randazzo's work. It's very good. It can be very, very complicated, and I'm glad that she's going to base it upon Easton Housing Authority, not everybody. And I do think it has to be clear. It's all wonderful and nice when all employees are getting along well and playing nice, but when you have a controversy or a disagreement, you'd like to have a rule book.
right, and that's what you had said in June, and we're not having that currently,
Right.
but
Right.
it made me think about it, and in looking at it, I find myself going, well, what exactly does that mean?
Yeah.
And
And
there's
the-
nobody to ask.
The biggest danger is that you make a decision in 2023 this way, and in 227 this way, and then there's a disparity there that can cause issues, and if one of them's a man and a woman, or older and younger, or whatever, the accusation can be that it was done based upon.
Even the FMLA, I mean, we actually have that in the policy. but we only have 6 employees, so how does that affect us? But it is spelled out in the policy, so how do I handle that? And it just, yeah, it needs to be addressed. There's so many different scenarios than I never thought ever possible, so.
And especially when you are it. There is
Yeah.
no human resource person.
Right.
So
She got that hat. We got a nice kind of HR hat.
when she takes off the 7 out of the half that she's wearing,
The rack in my room is full.
and 7's love.
I would like to say that this was a rather lengthy discussion at the June meeting, if you all remember.
Yeah.
And we did have to table it. And I'm very pleased with how you've handled it. And I agree with Tom in what he has said about, I think this is a wise move.
Right, going forward, I mean, we do have staff that is older, and when they retire, younger staff will come in. You want a good personnel policy in
Solid.
place, especially in this day and age.
Well, the price that she's estimated, and she'll come in, one bad personnel issue would cost you 3 times that or more.
She said it would be very straightforward because we don't
Yeah.
have unions. That being said, there's nothing to say that someday you could come in
Sure.
too. You never know. So. And I'm still waiting on the benches that we had discussed for the walkway up there through Mascor. They were swamped with a lot of other jobs and we're down on the totem pole. But they show me we're on the radar.
Having new supportive housing specialists.
Yes, she just started a couple of weeks ago. I really haven't had too much interaction with her. I'll keep you posted. The other one left for a better job. It's hard keeping help these days,
Yes, it is.
unfortunately. It's too bad because I think the other girl was very good as well. And hopefully this
Conflict
girl
of
also.
laws when it
She
comes
wasn't
to
able to, no, was she?
filling vacancies.
A little over, yeah.
Was it that
Yeah,
one?
yeah.
Is this something that should be brought up?
So then you consider a little over a year long.
I'm sure.
For supportive, yeah, I know.
But
know
I
what you're saying,
invited her to look
discussion
at that
session.
online.
All righty. I would entertain a motion to accept the executive director's report to put on file.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Chris Sheedy, a second by Commissioner Widow. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, that is unanimous. Thank you, Kathy. All right, questions and concerns. I did see you earlier, so I knew we were gonna get to you, so I wasn't ignoring you.
I couldn't tell if you were or not, I can't see you.
Oh, okay.
So you lucked out. One thing I wanted to ask Kathy, I think it is, I forget names and I'm sorry, I've been here 2 years, but it's Kathy.
Kathy, yes.
Kathy. Some people asked if there's a possibility of getting a shuffleboard table in one of the halls for people to participate in some kind of games. Is that a problem? Who would you go for funding? How would you do that?
Well, we can see what the supportive service people have. I mean, they do a lot of that stuff and they have funding for that. Has
Who
any?
is that? Are you talking about council on aging?
No, the supportive service. Remember when Chica was here, well, now we have Elizabeth Sad.
Right.
So
She's
she was,
excellent, by the way.
huh?
She's excellent.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. I bring that to her. I mean, she arranges that. If that's something that she needs, that's a possibility.
Okay, all right. Another thing that it was told me this morning, and on my way back from coffee, I stopped a number of people. People are rather upset with the way the barrel situation is, the rubbish. The thing I heard mostly was that there wasn't enough room in the containers they have for all the rubbish that people are going. Somebody from over in Lee Circle was walking all over the park trying to find a place to put her bag of rubbish in because they were all full.
Was that just this week? Because they were behind because of the holiday.
No, it's been a regular situation apparently. So I don't know if you can do anything about that, or like get barrels
Well,
back maybe.
No, we can't get the barrels back. We've already arranged for extra pickups and things like that. I mean, the day before they come usually, they're pretty full. We do find that.
Also, oh, go ahead, he wants something, what do you want?
Well, I wanted to mention this. A couple of weeks ago, at the dumpster over in Lee Circle, the one by 10 where I am, 9 rather, 10, I was coming out of the laundromat and I saw a guy with his car backed up to the dumpster, but I didn't recognize him. I just walked slowly. He got out, took 2 big bags out of his car, threw in the dumpster and drove away. I think people are coming in from the outside dumping stuff in here. So I don't know how you could check for that, or if there's a way, you know, I mean, can't see you putting cameras up to look at that. I mean, that doesn't make sense, but I did see someone, I'm pretty sure that from the outside bringing in, when I say big bags, they were like this in that dumpster.
Grab a license plate.
Well,
Yeah.
the other
can get the
question
plate.
that I had regarding the waste system, you said that you put out notices for people who were throwing things in the rubbish that shouldn't be throwing them in. And that it's causing a problem with the septic system, etc.
No, that's not the rubbish. That wasn't to do with the rubbish.
No, but they're throwing things, I'm sorry, they're throwing things into the septic system.
Into their
Into
toilets?
the toilets,
Mhm.
that they're not supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's making a, I heard after the trucks all came, that if they didn't come, that we would have to close down and move because of the situation.
That's not true.
Well, if it gets to a situation like that, sending a notice out doesn't seem to do anything. I've been here 2 years. People don't always read the notices, and they don't, I don't know if they just don't care. I don't know what the reason is.
Barbara, every year, we send a notice. At
I
the time-
understand,
at
but
the-
nobody reads it.
Okay, but here's the other thing, at the time of recertification, Dawn goes over that with everybody once again. There's no need
How
to be,
does he do that, may I ask?
Dawn, when you come in to do your recertification, she brings it to your attention again. There are a lot of people that have cognitive issues that put things down there that they can't control. You don't have to worry about it being shut down. The system is monitored. We're just asking to cut down on costs
So
because,
do you know who's doing it? Can
No.
you tell?
no, but the system is monitored, it's not gonna shut down. It alerts us and then we have to call in the trucks.
I
And
understand.
the problem with that is the expense, because you see, there's 4 18-wheelers coming in,
Yeah.
and that's what we're trying to cut down on the expense of that.
Okay.
So there's not much we can do other than what we are doing with that.
And we can't change back to barrels.
No, we've had the dumpsters for a long time now. The barrels
A year
don't
and a
work,
half.
the
We've had
animals
a
are
year
getting
and a
into
half.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, just doesn't work.
Okay. And I think I heard you talk about the walkway in the other side of the park.
We did that in June, yeah, we
It's
just
all
got that.
done?
No, it's not even slated until, what did we say,
May.
Dawn? May?
Hey,
Yeah, May of next year.
the last schedule I saw was May of 24.
24, right?
See, I can't
And,
get that out of my
and
head.
that's gonna be a prayer.
Yeah,
Now we might. 'cause
like things
we're
are all,
working on the
there's a lot
CIP.
of things approved, but nothing seems to be getting done. It keeps getting postponed and postponed and postponed. And it's really unfair, actually, but that's the way it
Inefficient.
is.
It's the system that we're required to use is inefficient.
Yeah. One other complaint, then you'll be rid of me for another month. Oh, the siding also, have they started that or is that postponed too?
That's not postponed, it's in the works, and that's one of the next projects to come up with the windows.
Okay, so all the bushes, et cetera, in front of the buildings will be taken out?
It depends, only buildings that they can't get at. We don't know yet.
Oh,
It's
okay.
that's yet to be seen. If they can't get behind a building, the bush might have to be removed to
Okay,
keep.
why is it that some people who have spoken to, not just me, other people, about flowers that they might plant in front of their window? And the man that, I won't say his name, the man that mows the lawns comes by and moves the box that they have around the flowers out and goes right over the things and tells them they can't plant there. Well, the flowers are planted, the bulbs, so they come up again, and he goes right over them again. One woman put good-sized rocks around it, he moved them. Put next size smaller, went right down to small things and spread them around it, they plowed it right out. I mean, until the people need to clear that to do work on the walls of the buildings, why can't they just let them grow their flowers in the little
Because it has
place?
nothing to do, there's a lot of weeds, people aren't weeding, the grass is growing into them. We're trying to maintain the look of the building, and people are not taking care of those gardens. And you can't be putting rocks there because the mowers are trying to get by, and if they shoot rocks up or damage the mowers. I mean, we do the best we can. Quite honestly, it's a lot of work trying to take care of all this property and everybody's different tastes and different plantings. They do what they can.
Okay. I think that's all except for the barrels.
Any other questions or concerns?
Anyone else? You know, I was on the board of nursing, and it's interesting because they would complain to me, I'd bring things up to the board of nursing, and it was just the same. People nodded their heads when I made the complaints, and then they had a meeting of the people who complained, and the director said, anybody have any problems? And they said, no. So that's the way it is, you just live with what you got. It's very difficult giving up though when you're not used to it.
You shouldn't give up. Keep saying it. It'll move.
All right,
Thank
next,
you for listening.
thank you.
And my name is Barbara Ham.
Thank you, Barbara.
All good things come to those who wait.
Right, I hope I live that long.
Next meeting, October 10th, which would be the day after Columbus Day, I believe. right?
Can we do it the following, can we do it the following week? Is that
If you're not gonna
possible?
be here, I think we should probably,
You can have it.
no, I'm good with that.
And I still,
October 17th, does that work for people?
Is that all right with everyone?
October what?
17th?
Tuesday the 17th.
It's okay with me.
Works for me.
Yeah.
I'm fine. Good, well, have fun.
All right, so the next meeting will be October 17th at 5 o'clock in Pocket Terrace Community Room. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
The motion by Commissioner Christian Sheedy, a second by Commissioner Witter. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
That is unanimous. Thank you all very much, folks. It's great to see you again.
They're different,
Illegal dumping.
they consider.
You know, I used to get a lot of that,
I don't
and
know how we.
people would accuse people at a building